So when we're thinking about fractions, we have to introduce vocabulary about fractions to students. So some of the vocabulary that are really important for students to understand revolve around understanding we've got a whole. That's not a hole that we dig in the ground, but that's a whole that represents a fraction. And that whole is broken into equal parts, and each one of those equal parts represents a unit. So when we have a unit fraction, that is a fraction with a numerator of 1, like 1/4 or 1/3. Each of those represents one of the equal parts of the whole. We also have different ways to explain fractions. So we have proper fractions. Those are fractions that are less than 1. We have improper fractions. Those are fractions that are equal to or greater than 1 and represented without a whole number. And we have mixed numbers, which is a mix of, and if I scoot to here to the side, you can see it, a mix of a whole number and a proper fraction, but this is a mixed number, and it also is represented, can be an improper fraction. And as we look at all of these fractions, we focus on the different parts of these fractions. So we have the numerator that represents the parts of the fraction that we're showing, and we have the denominator that tells us how many equal parts that whole is broken into. Now, one thing that's really important when we talk about fractions is each of these fractions is a separate number. So 2/3 is one number. It is the number 2/3. It is not made up of separate numbers. So there's not a top number and a bottom number. There's a numerator and denominator, and together those work to make one number, and that number is 2/3 or 9/5 or 2 1/4.